Hey, entrepreneurs or the business owners, or if you are coaching or your existing business owners business is successful or you want to add coaching revenue with that, please stick around. I have a creator of fast revenue coaching for coaches, Rob Goyette. Please help me welcome Rob Goyette. Welcome, Rob.
Hey, thanks, Bashir. It's great to be here.
Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who were you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
Yeah, so I've been in the coaching industry since 2007, and what inspired me is I was friends with someone who's actually really well known in the coaching industry today, but at the time he was not. His name is Christian Michelson. He and I were friends, and when he started telling me about the success he was having in his business, I asked if I could join him and help him with his marketing. So I was on his team for 7 years, and that's where I learned all about the coaching industry and really fell in love with the audience of coaches. They're very heart centered and really want to help people.
What are three mistakes to avoid?
Yeah, so three mistakes to avoid to improve team effectiveness. I would say the first one is not telling your team members why they are doing something. If we give instructions to someone and we don't tell them why, they might not do it the way we want, or they might not be able to come up with a better way to do it. So telling someone why they're being asked to do something, I think, is really important. Another thing is not checking on progress, sort of delegating something and then never revisiting it with the team member. I think would be a big mistake. And then also one thing that I found that works really well is to have team members be accountable to other people. A good example of that would be a customer service person who not only has to do their responsibilities, but they need to follow up with the customer. So having our team members be accountable to someone in addition to us, I think it would be a mistake not to do that.
What is your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
Sure. So I tried to. This was back when I lived in Colorado Springs. I live in Puerto Rico now, but back when I was in Colorado Springs, I thought I would hold a live event, and a bunch of people would come to this event, and I would walk them all through creating their marketing funnels, and we'd have a great time. And that failed miserably because trying to get everyone to travel to Denver and be at the same place, same time, pay money for flights and hotels. It was very unsuccessful. But what came out of it was I packaged up what I call a 3-day VIP weekend where I actually ended up flying to the clients and getting the hotel room for myself, basically removing all the friction of them leaving their house, their hometown. And I sold that, and that was really successful. I've sold hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of these VIP weekends.
What are top three success secrets that others can follow?
Sure. With respect to teams, I would say from a compensation standpoint, it's usually a good idea to offer a very low starting wage, and instead of giving raises, to give bonuses. Once you give someone a raise, you can't really go backwards from that. There's no graceful way to take somebody back down to what they used to make. So if people are doing a great job for you, I think you can appreciate them with a nice cash bonus as opposed to a raise. A raise is permanent. A bonus is like a one-time thing. So I think that's one really helpful success secret. Another is to appreciate team members. I once heard somebody say, pretend that everybody has a big sign on their head that says, appreciate me. And I know that when I appreciate team members, they perform even better and makes them feel good and happy, and they stay longer. So I think appreciation is a success secret. And then the other thing that I'll mention is a little more detailed. There are 3 critical things that my assistant does that have made my life so much easier. The first thing is he's the first line or the first point of contact for emails. So I don't get emails directly. They go to him and he reviews them, and anything that he cannot handle, he'll put in my inbox. And if I feel like it's something he can handle, I will blind carbon copy him on my response. So over time, my assistant is taking more and more of my email off my plate with that. Another thing he does is optimizes my calendar. If I have a call at 8 a.m. and a call at 10 a.m., he will actually try to move the 10 a.m. call closer to when that 8 o'clock call ends, or he will move the 8 o'clock call later to closer to when the 10 o'clock call starts. So by optimizing my calendar, I can either start my day later or finish it earlier. The other thing that he does for me is he prepares notes for my day based on any calls that I have. So if I have a phone call that day, all I have to do is open up Evernote and I will see the details of that call. I'll see who I'm talking with, I'll see why we're talking, and I will see their time and time zone for when they're expecting to meet. I'll have their email address and then any details about what we're discussing on the call. So that has really, really freed up a lot of time and energy in my business by having my assistant do those three things.
What is the most impactful business book you have read, and what did you learn from it?
Sure. So this was there was one of those offers where you get like 5 books for $1 or 3 books for $1. I don't remember what it was, but one of the books I chose was called The Perfect Business by Michael, I think it's pronounced LeBouf or something similar to that. And really, I don't really remember the book all that well, but it got me excited about having my own business. And so if I hadn't read that book, I think it would have taken me a lot longer to realize that I could have my own business.
What do you want to be remembered for?
Sure. As far as being remembered, probably for my fast revenue coaching model. It's a laser coaching model that coaches really love. It's irresistible to coaches because it only takes 15 minutes of their time. Clients pay for it a year in advance, and the coaches end up earning about $500 an hour for their time. It's also irresistible to clients due to the way it's packaged, and I'm already well known for that, and I hope that I'll be remembered for it as well.
How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
So my way to overcome challenges is to work backwards. If I'm trying to do something and life throws a challenge, I'll confirm, is this really the end goal that I'm trying to get to? And if so, start working backwards to see if maybe there's another way to get there. So I really like the strategy of working backwards from a goal. And so if there's a challenge in the way, it could be that there's a different way to reach that goal.
What do you want to do when you grow up?
Yeah. So, and by the way, I'm just trying to find my notes here because I thought about all your questions before and I just lost my place. So let me, when I grow up, oh, there we go. Yeah. So I came up with a motto that I call show up and share. In other words, I'd like to have a team supporting me so that all I need to do is show up for interviews like this or training calls or coaching calls, show up, share what I can, help how I can, and then when I'm off the call, then I'm done. There's no administrative work. So to answer your question, it is show up and share.
Once you have a revenue generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
Yeah, I'm really lucky. My significant other, yeah, she's seen enough success that if I have an idea, she's usually right on board. But if she wasn't, what I would do is I would take a walk with her because that's something she really enjoys. And I think she's open and receptive to listening to my ideas when she's in a good place. So the answer is I would take a walk with her and explain.
What are you grateful for today?
Yeah, so today I am grateful that after this interview, I only have 3 calls on my calendar until October. I've really managed to free up a lot of my time, and so I'm grateful for the free time that I have.
Who is your living mentor and what is the impact they have on you?
Sure. So my mentor is the very same guy that hired me back in 2007, Christian Michelson. I've really learned a lot from him about the coaching industry and what coaches want and need and how to support them. So if I'm going to make a big decision in my business, sometimes I'll either think about what he's doing or maybe even ask myself, how would he handle this? And it's not always the same way, but it's a good sort of way to check my ideas to see if they might be good.
Why is being impactful important to you?
Yeah, being impactful is important to me because just selfishly, I love the appreciation. It makes me feel good. Remember, I said people treat people as if they have that sign on the front of their head that says appreciate me. Well, I love appreciation too. And so when I can impact the lives of coaches by helping them with their business, and then I get that positive feedback, yeah, I just really thrive on that.
How do you start your day?
I start my day by emptying my inbox. Unless I've gotten a new email since this interview started, my inbox has 0 emails in it, and it feels great.
Who is your ideal client?
My ideal client they're coaches who need help making money in their business. Oftentimes, coaches are very heart-centered and really want to help people, but they may not be quite as savvy as some other types of business owners when it comes to making sure they're profitable so that they can stay in business. And I love helping coaches, make money in their business.
What is the advice you would give to your younger self?
That it's okay to fail and learn from mistakes. Basically, not to beat ourselves up when we make mistakes. Try to learn from them and then do better next time.
How can we support you?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Bashir. I think by sharing a couple of URLs, if there are coaches watching this right now, FastRevenueCoaching.com is where you can go to learn about my coaching model, get on my list, and see if there's anything that I can do to support you. If you are not yet a coach, but you're interested in possibly adding coaching revenue to your business, I do have a product called Add Coaching Revenue. And I'm actually running Facebook ads to this for a really low price to see if I can make those Facebook ads break even. So it's a really low price right now if you go to addcoachingrevenue.com.
What would you say about your experience on the show today?
Yeah, Bashir, 2 things. Number 1 is that you've been very professional from the meeting we had a few days ago to discuss being on your show, as well as being on time and being prepared and sending me the questions ahead of time, just very professional. And then the other thing that I would say is, hang on just a second, because it just flew out of my head, but I wrote it down because, it's that you made it easy to be a guest. Like I said, you gave me all the questions and all the links, but you just made it so darn easy to show up and be a guest on your show. I really appreciate it.
What would you say as a final word?
Yeah, so I'm known for this phrase or maybe even formula that really helps business owners troubleshoot their marketing. If your marketing is not working, if people are not buying your stuff, this seems to work really well. And what it is that what causes people to buy anything are 2 factors. It's trust and an irresistible offer. People need to trust you as a person, and they need to trust you as the expert who can get them the results that they want. And for your irresistible offer, it needs to be a no-brainer in terms of the value you offer compared to the relatively small price that you charge. And people also need to understand your offer. I made this mistake for a long time when I'd make these great offers and nobody would buy, and I knew they trusted me, and I knew it should be a no-brainer. People still weren't buying, and the problem was they didn't understand the offer. People need to understand the inputs, the time, energy, and money they're going to put into your product or service, and then the very likely output or result they're going to get from giving you that money.
Thank you so much, Rob Goyette.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Bashir.
Yeah, on the behalf of Entrepreneur Empowerment Club and our entire team, we really appreciate you. And I hope our path cross again with another amazing piece of content. Until then, you have a wonderful time.
Bye, everybody.